I grew up in the North American anime renaissance of the 1990s. In the 80s, we didn't know this was anime, we just thought that these were cartoons. When we look at intros from many 80s cartoons, you can definitely see the anime influence. The first anime I ever watched was HEIDI, and my mom always reminds me of the intro from that show. As a teenager, my friend introduced me to Robot Carnival. It reminds me a lot of Leiji Matsumoto and Daft Punk's Interstellar 5555. If you haven't seen this masterpiece, go find it now. Then came the big one, Project A-ko. This anime would eventually become the basis to a lot of inspiration to all of my artwork, including the name, Project Peach. But eventually my cousin would introduce me to an anime that would leave a huge impression on me and my brother, and this would be Saint Seiya. Saint Seiya was created by Masami Kurumada and began its life as a manga in early 1986. Later that year, the anime debuted. This anime would later become a big hit in Europe and Latin America. Saint Seiya proved to be so popular that it got several movies made, video games dating back to the Nintendo Famicom system, and 2 musicals. The story of Saint Seiya follows 5 young men who have trained to become saints or guardians. These saints wear armors or cloths that represent different constellations. The gold cloths are reserved for the 12 signs of the zodiac. Our 5 heroes wear the bronze cloths. They are Hyoga of Cygnus, Shiryu of the Dragon, Shun of Andromeda, Iki of the Phoenix, and the title character, Seiya of the Pegasus. What makes this show so cool is that we get to see each saint's training, and we really get a lot of character development for all 5 of the heroes. I'll admit that the anime seems a little slow at times, but it's totally worth it just to see Phoenix destroy someone's brain with his Phoenix Illusion Demonic Fist, which is a move that creates hallucinations so bad that the enemy ends up just killing himself. Phoenix just totally blew that guy's mind, literally. Or later, when Shiryu goes to hell to fight the Gold Saint, Cancer. How is he gonna get back from hell? There are so many examples on how cool this show really is. But that would make this video super long. It was hard enough to think of just a couple of examples to show how cool this retro anime really is. With a little bit of history in our back pockets, let's take a look at the 2007 Saint Seiya Appendix figures. These figures are 6 inches tall, and they were released by Bandai. They originally retailed for about $36 US. I got mine on eBay the same year, and they cost me about $40 US. I got Seiya and Shiryu. The figures come in a nice displayable box with a flap and window. Inside, we get this backdrop. It also comes with these instructions, and you can see right here that the only 2 figures are Seiya and Shiryu. It looks like you get an additional base for Seiya, and you can strap together 2 Pandora's boxes. This small piece was always a mystery to me, but I'll tell you what they're for in just a bit. These are the 2 straps that you can put 2 Pandora's boxes together. These are the metal pieces to put the straps to the Pandora's box. These guys come with 6 different types of hands. This is a karate chop type hand. Then we have this kind of opened hand. And then of course, fists. These figures also have some really cool articulation. They can bend their knees, they can bend their ankles and their toes. They can move their legs from side to side. They do have a bend at the waist, and that's what the joint looks like. There's a double joint at the elbow, and the arm can go all the way around. And the wrists are on ball joints. His head's on a ball joint, but his hair is made from 2 different pieces. Now we'll take a look at Seiya's armor. His armor is already set into the Pegasus mode. It's vac metallized plastic and it looks really nice. The box is also vac metallized, but I don't know, it kind of has like this steel kind of look to it. It's also cool to the touch, and the little handle can actually move. Now remember those mystery pieces? That actually goes on the bottom. And then the little cap goes underneath that, and then you put it on a post. But that little cap doesn't seem to fit very well on it, so I doubt this thing would even be able to stay up that long. What's really neat about this box is that you can actually fit the armor inside of it. This is how it would be inside of the box in the show. I like that Seiya can wear the Pandora's box. The only thing is, it makes him back heavy, so he's constantly falling back, and I have to get creative with posing him. I love all the detail that they put on the Seiya figure, down to his shoes. He really looks like he just jumped out of the anime. I definitely think that they were worth the $40. I mean, you get all the extra parts, all the articulation. You can pose them in many different ways, including Shura's Excalibur attack, who is Capricorn on the show. That's pretty awesome. This Seiya figure is really cool, but we still got the Shiryu figure to look at. We'll see him next. Now we'll take a look at the Shiryu figure. He comes in the same kind of box as Seiya. He also comes with the background, just like the Seiya figure, and some instructions. Once again, we can see that the Seiya figure and the Shiryu figure are the only 2 that are full figures. In the instructions, we can see that small stand that doesn't really work with the Pandora's box. He also comes with an extra hairpiece to make his hair more full, and a part of his armor. This is Shiryu's armor, and it's in the dragon constellation form. Just like Seiya's armor, it's also vac metallized, but this time in green and yellow. Actually, I would dare to say that it looks nicer than Seiya's. And again, like Seiya, he also comes with Pandora's box. That's also vac metallized, and it also has that steel look to it. The handle also moves on the dragon. Also like Seiya, here's all the other spare parts, as well as his hands. He has the same type of hands as Seiya. Here's something that Seiya didn't come with: armor parts. One of these parts actually belongs to the dragon, and the other 3 are for the belt that he's supposed to wear. Just like Seiya, he also comes with some cloth clothing, and I really like the frogs on his shirt. That's the extra piece that makes his hair full, and as you can see, instead of tennis shoes, he's wearing flats. You might not be able to tell from here, but they actually added a lot of detail on Shiryu, especially this. They didn't have to do this. That's right, it's his dragon tattoo. And Shiryu's tattoo only shows up when his Cosmo is at max. I wouldn't mind getting that tattoo. Now here's something that really sucks. Shiryu can't wear his Pandora's box, and that's because of his long hair. Now I'm not sure why he comes with just the armor belt, but it does come in 2 parts. The glue came off of one of the parts of mine, so I just had to re-glue it. I think it looks pretty neat, but you do have to undo his pants if you want him to wear it. And here's the dragon cloth with the missing piece attached. You can see on the bottom that that's part of the belt. And for some reason, it has this screw on the bottom of the cloth. Once again, these figures are really posable and I love these things. These things are really cool. These are totally a must-have for any Saint Seiya fan. And the price is right, so that's really good. And how can we have Shiryu if we can't have him do his famous attack, Rosan Shoryuha, or the Rising Dragon Punch? Saint Seiya, or as I knew the show when I watched it as a kid, Caballeros del Zodiaco, will always have a special place in my heart. My cousins and I bonded over TV shows before, such as WWF Wrestling, Thundercats, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but the last show that we really bonded over was Saint Seiya. I loved that it was so popular, that there were bootlegs of Bandai figures, mainly Yoga of Cygnus, but I eventually found Shun of Andromeda, and even cooler than that, Seiya with the metallic blue die-cast metal cloth that could even come together to form the Pegasus. I had a figure with this same card back, and I remember cutting out the images just so I could put it on my school folder. I liked them that much. God, I would love to get my hands on those again, but for a reasonable price. The only things I have from my original Saint Seiya toys are a couple of pieces from the Andromeda cloth, and some gold leg armor piece, but I'm not sure exactly what figure that came from. I think it even belonged to an even more bootleg looking 3-inch Capricorn figure. I hope you enjoyed this review of the 2007 Bandai Saint Seiya Appendix Seiya and Shiryu figures.